Hello. Welcome to yes. It's supposed to be a weekend bulletin, but today we are on Edo Decide. The stage is set, and it looks as if Edo people they want to prove again that Nigeria can happen and it can be well with Nigeria. We are on the day, it's a big day. We're marching on. And I'm getting excited because democracy has come to stay in Nigeria. Let us celebrate that first. I want to use today is going to be, I'm going to be a little bit more positive because we've come to stay. Election is here, it's coming again and again. If we continue, we're only going to get better. I know we are not happy with where we were. We may not be happy where we're going, but no, I'm not. Where we're going, I'm hoping that's where my happiness is. Today might not be all that great. It's like a baby that learns to walk. You're not going to start to jump. It's going to be start to sit up, start to crawl, start to stand, and then walk. And perhaps we are already standing. Maybe we just want to walk. Well, that is what I believe. Many people may not agree with me that we are walking yet, but it's a beautiful day. As far as I'm concerned, it is a beautiful day. But before I go into Edo State proper, let me just share you one little image with you guys. You know, these two people, they are already making life difficult for us in the Edo State. Let me share this picture first so that before I bring my guests in. They are having a little bit of battle at the moment. Today is not a day to look at them, but hey, between you, Oboriwori, and Senator Ned, you know, I want to see you guys in the ring. There's if you look at the spot today, we have two guys there. Well, look at these two people. They are getting excited between Obaseki and Oshomole. Who has the best feast now? Obaseki, now you get now because this Baba old. You see, times it's so quick, Oshomole. Just yesterday, today you are now outdated. It's now Obaseki time. In few days' time, Obaseki voice will no more be heard. That is what I love about this game. And that is what I love about how God created this world. But today, it's not a day for that. It's not a day to throw stones. It's a day of reckoning. Today is a day where Edo people are going to decide whether what Oshomola did is a good example or they want to follow Obaseki. But so many good things. I love the headlines today. Today I was going through the headlines quickly. Like this is the battle. This is what I like. You know, as we're thinking that the battle is between these two guys in the ring there, it's actually between Obaseki and Oshomole. Who's gonna raise the blow? Who's gonna get the knockdown? We're yet to find out today. But in fact, Nigerian papers have done well today. I'm excited. There's a beautiful headlines. I see them coming. This is anxiety in see when you go through the whole thing, you see these three men, they are there. Everything, and it's the use of English language that makes all the differences today. It's all about Edo, and I'm going to try and read some of them. D-Day for Edo. You see what I like? That is Daily Trust. D-Day for Edo people. You know, my eyes are not very clear, so I couldn't pick that of Guardian. This eye, don't they old? Then let's go. So I'm enjoying the headlines, you know. And yes, see, the question is, who is the next landlord in Osadebe's house? You know Osadebe House, that is the house of the governor of Edo State. It's called the Osadebe House. That is the beautiful name. Who's going to be the new tenant? Because you can never be a landlord. To say a new landlord is never there. You come as a tenant and you're still going to leave. Maybe 4 years lease or 8 years lease. When you finish that, you leave. That's what I love about this democracy. But today, you see, let's use the use of English language. That's why I'm enjoying the press. Okay. IGB lockdown as Edo Gov. I don't want to go into that one. It's not that sweet. Why are you guys so mean? And Tribune, give us something sweet. Let's see what Vanguard. See who succeeds Obaseki. It's about Obaseki. Kai. What about who succeeds there? Okay, well, somebody already. It's about who succeeds Obaseki. I love this headline. So that is what we are. Okay, Igodalo, Okpebolo, and Akpata battles for 2.2 million votes today. What then the press have done their own bit. The question is, what is your own? Today, I have people here, able gentlemen who are joining us. Let's start with 1, 2, 3. I'm going to start with one. I have a reverend here, a Reverend Apostle Dr. Nathan. Doctor, Apostle, please tell us who you are and welcome to this.
Good morning.
You're welcome to the show. Let me start by you just kindly introducing yourself, sir. Can you hear me, sir? All right. Reverend I'm sure Reverend can hear me, but obviously, are you there, sir? Doctor? Apostle?
Good morning.
Morning, Apostle.
Good morning. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I said, why don't we start by you just introducing yourself so the audience get to know who I have in the studio today, because it's going to be bloody, or it's going to be friendly, or it's going to be just simple observation. Let's go, sir. All right.
Sorry, I'm not hearing you well.
And that is because it must be coming from your end. But don't worry, doctor. If you can just check why you are not hearing, I'm sure my colleagues will help you now to see if you can get on well, sir. And then we'll bring you back quickly. All right. All right. And then we have, of course, Michael O'Shea. He's a journalist and he's an observer. Michael, are you on ground or you are still in the taking coffee?
You are the morning. I've gone out briefly within just the metropolis in Benin City here. So, but I had to rush back to the hotel to be able to participate in this.
Thank you very much.
Section. So, my name is Michael Oche. So, I'm a journalist. Although I'm not based in Benin here, I came from Abuja yesterday. To also observe, monitor the election, even as a citizen journalist and as an election observer too. Yeah, so but it's been peaceful here so far.
That's it. That's what I wanted to know. Is it been peaceful? Are the people excited? Is it a great day in Benin? One of the people are saying it's a D-Day. Is it really a D-Day for people there? Are they really happy?
Yes, so far it's been peaceful. In Benin here, as we speak, it's raining. But the people are still out there, exercising their franchise, their democratic right. I think they're also excited again because they have the option of choosing their next governor, which is very important to them. So, so far, for those that are able to be, I spoke with earlier, they're excited. And they are looking forward to having a very peaceful election. Security is tight. Like as we know, the police deployed 35,000 personnel to Edo to ensure that there is good security, and other sister agencies and the military guys are also on ground. They've tried to restrict movement of persons, vehicular movement especially, except that this morning.
All right, the network and the rain in Benin, you will obey us today. Today is our day. And then, so all the network in Benin better behave, because we really need to let people within and outside know what is currently happening in Edo State today. But don't worry, we have journalists back. He's right back with us. And let's quickly connect with another honorable here. Honorable, I know you are here with us. Honorable, let's stay a few minutes with you. Honorable, I know your political strategies, but let's talk about, introduce yourself. Let's know who is Honorable Rex is. Welcome, Honorable.
Okay, good. Yeah, good morning. My name is Rex Giado. I'm a political strategist. I'm also a farmer and a businessman. I live in Abuja.
Okay.
And I'm a concerned citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you. I'm happy to be online this morning. Thank you very much.
Yes, that's the kind of people we want to have online, of course. You're contributing and you're a contented citizen. I know. Let's see whether we have, and I'm going to bring everybody right on stage now. Mary, I know you are there with us. Let me just add, yes, we are complete now. This is a complete house. Mary is our colleague from Abuja. She's from SRTV Abuja. So we're out here to look at the elections in Edo State. It's been peaceful so far, according to journalists. Ushe, can you hear me now? Because we lost you at some minute. 2 minutes ago.
Yes, I can hear you now.
Yes, sir. Please complete. Give us a little bit update. What is currently going on? Yeah, from what you say, you said it's been from your observation so far that it's been peaceful, and people are excited, of course, to get their next governor. What do you see? The police presence, is it intimidating people or is a good thing?
Yes, I would say the militarization of election. Personally, I don't think it's a good thing. Having that much number of police persons deployed for an election is not really good for our democracy. It's a civil responsibility. People should peacefully just move about and cast their vote and exercise their franchise. But when you have this large number of police persons or security personnel really deployed for an election, it makes it look as if we are still maybe in a military, government or something like that. But
Yes.
again, because of the tension that that have preceded the election and all of that, so it's understandable to have much boots on the ground. Again, I have to say sometimes these tensions are really partisan tactics by politicians. Try to heat up the process and scare voters from really coming out. They take advantage of this kind of tension, to
Yes.
create a voter apathy. So it's understandable to have that number of police person on ground to give confidence to the citizens that they will be protected throughout the process.
Wonderful. That's my thought as well. Why will I be coming out to vote as if I'm going to a warfare? But if it is what is needed for peace to reign today, why not? Apostle, you are back. I think you can hear me now, sir. Can you hear me now? Apostle can still not hear us, unfortunately. Is there any way? I thought my colleague will help you to sort you just need to maybe sign out and sign in again, Apostle, because we can hear you. It's like you can hear us. Can you hear us, sir?
Hello.
Yes, sir. Can you hear us?
Good morning. Yeah. I can hear you a little now.
Okay. It should be better. It should be hearing us loud and clear like other people. So maybe you might want to sign off and sign in. We're not going to
Yes,
need
I'm trying to work on the system so that I
All
can
right.
hear you better.
Thank you, sir. So we'll be coming right back to you. Let's see what's going on. Mary.
Thank you.
Mary, what he said? Edo is here. Are you happy? What have you heard so far? So far from Edo, what have you heard? Because the journalists on ground have told us it's been going on smoothly and things are not that bad. Any news that we should be worried about?
Okay, good morning, Daddy Chris, and good morning, everyone. Okay, another news I heard yesterday, and I felt like it's raising my concern, and I wanted to talk about it, is the assassination that wanted to happen to Prince Okojo, that is the husband of Mercy Johnson. And the next thing they said, it was from that they interrogated them, and they said they are from PDP, they are PDP members. So I was asking myself, right? It's not like maybe being negative, I'm not believing what they said. Don't you think this is political? Don't you think it's a political issue? Because how come you say he wanted to be assassinated, right? In his house in Edo State, and it happened to be PDP people. Why do I feel like it's a way of trying to spoil the name of the PDP as a party? And I felt like, okay, I was going to raise this issue today and talk about it.
Yes. We wouldn't know what really happened, but that what you're just telling me now is kind of alien to me. Uche, have you heard anything like that?
No, I have not heard. I've not heard anything like that. But when I got here yesterday, the news that was flying in the air was about one of the candidates withdrawing from the race, the APC candidate to be specific. yes, withdrawing from the race, and so even as journalists, one of the things that we know is that during political activities such as election, this kind of news, misinformation, and
Yes.
disinformation is always political opponents want to take advantage of misinforming voters and all of that. So, but it turned out not to be true. Even the Labour Party
Yes.
candidate had to issue a statement to say, "No, I am still in the race. I have not
Exactly.
withdrawn from the race."
I heard that of the
Yeah,
Labour
so
Party. It was on my Facebook, and I said, "Oh God, these people will not stop." The days of the
yeah,
disadvantage of citizen journalism, Michael, where citizens now can just write and post what they want. Wonderful.
exactly. So we encourage citizens to also, take advantage of verified news channels. When you see things like that, because in this era of, like you say, citizen journalism, social media, people just share on WhatsApp, share forward as received. So before a lot of people have that news and all of that, and politicians take advantage of things like this. Another thing I want to also say as regards what's happening on ground is that polls did not really open by 8:30. Um, poll in most of the polling units that I visited, poll actually started like 9:30, which is like 1 hour behind schedule. In fact, some of them didn't even start until like 10 o'clock. So really don't know how INEC is going to solve this logistics problem, because they keep having this problem every election where they don't, deploy
Go up on time.
early for, voting to commence at 8:30, which is what is stipulated in electoral. So, that's what's been on ground. Like, um, people coming out early and not meeting, INEC officials on ground. Yeah.
We're looking forward to the turnout because that's something that is going to decide this election. Are the people are they coming out in numbers? And though people used to do that, I saw a very beautiful image of him of an old woman is out there to cast a vote, and I was quite impressed. I hope that people come out to vote. Anyway, Honorable Rex, can you hear us now, sir? Yeah. Rex, yeah, let's start from you as a concerned citizen. What are you hoping to get from today, from Edo election? What can we take home?
Yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting time for all of us. Yeah, a godfather was stopped, and we are seeing how another godfather wants to also see if it is possible he can go back and change what was stopped in Lagos, if that could be replicated in so we're here to watch. Very interesting time to see the situation that will be happening in Edo today. We heard just like my colleague said, the journalist said about what we heard last night about people withdrawing from the race and how the race is going to be. I know it's going to be an interesting time. Politicians sometimes thrive on information that are not totally correct. They play the game they want to play on, and so that they will achieve certain goals. That could lead to voter apathy. That could lead to people not having the right enthusiasm to move out and do
To
what is
vote.
rightfully there. The mandate to carry out this money. So sometimes those things come and they play out, and it's disturbing the minds of people of the voters, basically. I think today is quite an interesting year. The whole nation is here watching and viewing. The advantage one of the obstacles election carries on is that you won't have a time where everywhere will be all going in for election. So your case is treated specially. So two things might happen. Or those who want to rig might have issues going to do that because all eyes will be on one place, which is Edo today. The
Edo
entire
today.
nation eyes are on Edo. So that will also reduce issues of malpractice. It will reduce to the largest level. I think that's the advantage that the voters in these obstacle elections. We're looking forward to a better time.
Yeah, I completely agree with you because the question is one of our somebody is already asking everything. Liz is already asking that. Well, Are you hopeful? Are you people hopeful that the beavers, are they using the beavers? Will the vote count? Because that has been the challenge, At
That
the
is
end
the
of the day,
problem.
election will be where everything is done. People go out to vote. It's really sad that for that old woman has gone out there to vote, and at the end, her vote does not count. It's disheartening. That's only the stake we have as citizens. This is the only time we have a say. And if you don't count our vote, that can be really distressing. And I'm happy journalists is back. Journalists, are they, with your observation on ground, are they using the beavers? Because that is number one. So that the result will just go out, without people writing again and again and again, and there's something something I want us to all observe today, also talk about, which is the electoral process itself. But first, let's know whether they're using the beavers at the moment. Do you know whether the beavers is in place, Michael?
Yes, the Beavers is working so far in the polling units that are visited. The Beavers, they are working very fine. And the time for, how efficient it is just 2 minutes. It captures you, and you're able to do your voting and go. But that's in the polling units that are visited. Edo has about 4,519 polling units for this election. So even as journalists, for us, it's important when we make this analysis, we do percentage analysis, because when people just maybe after visiting 2 polling units,
Yes,
and maybe if the beavers is not working, then you just come on air and say the beavers are not working.
yes.
So yeah, it's important to look at the percentage. If you have 4,519 polling units, and maybe you have beavers working in maybe 4,000 units, and just maybe because it didn't work in maybe 500 units, it's not fair to just write off the whole process.
Yes.
So we are also very careful to do this comparison and say, okay, what's the percentage where it worked and where it didn't work. But so far, in the places that are visited in Benin City specifically, the beavers are working. And from the reports we have been receiving from other field observers, so far, except for one or two places, polling units, it's been working very fine so far.
All right, but let's go, because I'm happy I'm with really some sound mind today. So let me ask about this voters card that you people are using. I don't think it's a little bit complicated. First, you have an NIN, you have a voters card, and then what? I don't understand. As a Nigerian citizens, once you have your NIN, assume you have an identity. Why is that not enough to identify somebody who's come to vote? I'm happy the Beavers is using your biometric. Why do we need another voter's card? I still want to ask that to let's hear.
Okay. Okay. So if I may, so I think it's a huge problem for us, because there are so many Nigerians carry too many identity cards. Or you carry too many identity cards. You have driver's license. You have
Exactly.
your passport. You have your passport. You have ATM card. You have now you have voters card and all of that. I
Yes.
think yeah, we should be able to put our data into one card. We should be able to put our data into one card, but that will also take a while, because Nigeria does not really have a data bank for its citizen. We don't have birth registration. We don't have a data bank for birth registration. Even we don't have a data bank for birth registration. We still do that in a manual way. People don't do birth registration. People don't do death registration. So it's a very long process. It's a process that will take a while, but it's very important for us to really get it right, because data helps government to plan. So I really do not know why successive government have not invested in this data and having us, just carry one since we have the need. I know, it's been a process, but I think there's been an improvement, because now if you want to renew your passport, the new passport, now you have your name on that passport. So probably with time, we'll be able to also capture probably the voters card and all of that, and maybe just have one single identity. But like you said, it's very important for us to have one instead of having people, carry too many ID cards around.
I think it's cost effective. Like this issue of the data, I'm happy you've been able to. They had that we're fighting for 2 point something votes. I hope INEC have that registration intact, and that is what we are banking on. Are you sure all the people that are entitled or that are qualified to vote in Edo State are actually captured in this 2.2 million? Let's hear, Honorable Rez. Are you? Let's hear from you, so we don't put all the journalists into this. Because you only have 2.2 million, and I wonder what the population of Edo State is, and only 2.2 million votes is what we are expecting. Is that not a reflection of that? Some people have been disenfranchised already.
I don't believe so. I've been at instances where people have registered the INEC voters, and some fail to go back and even collect their cards. But for reasons, some people feel that their result, their voting does not necessarily. To some, they don't want to go and waste their time on a group of people who, when they are voted upon getting into power, don't remember that people went and stood in the sun or in the rain, as it is happening today in Benin, have voted for them to become occupants of those offices. They end up because so you end up that while people have registered about 2 million, a good chunk of it refuse the daily to be ignored to go and take their voters card. For some, the reason why they voted at all, they registered to have those voters card was simply because they were either going to be compared in some places. If you don't have a voter's card, you will not you will be cut off from doing certain things. So that was part of the things that made others. To some who probably did have the voter's card, the reason is that they were coppers serving in the state for when they were registering, and after that they didn't feel any because those cards don't come immediately after registration. So for some who were coppers or who what that had taken them away from Edo State and the either job or relocation or whatever the case may be, and those types end up not having the card to go and vote. Now look that 2 point something million is not the case. But if you check what has happened in time past during the election nearing period, no state has voted up to 2 million in the actual capturing of events. In recent time, I think in 2023 election, the state that had the highest vote was Kano. Kano had less than 2 million, if I'm now forgetting. My memory is not failing me. But if you see they had up to 2 million, they had just slightly above 2 million. So we expected 2 million votes to come from a due today. I think it's going to be a trillion times. We will not end up having up to 1.5 million people that will vote in 2020. That is my sincerity. And honestly, I think that at the end of the day, one will not be actually picked up to a level. Let me say that INEC has done a lot of jobs. The process of rigging does not start with INEC as an umpire. It is those who participate in this process or sometimes play the game. Now, one of the things for political players, what they must do is that the essence of having polling agents from polling units is extremely important. Those are the people first line charge that take responsibility of understanding that look, this is the number of votes that we have XYZ at the point, and they carry it over. And the responsibility of citizens who go out to vote to ensure that after the process their numbers are. So for these reasons, to give vibe to people who have confidence of tomorrow coming out to vote and also have the confidence once they vote, their vote will actually count. Basically, I think that 2 million votes are enough to justify or decide who becomes the governor of the state.
And that's gonna bring me, Apostle Doctor. I hope you're back and you can hear us now, sir. Can you hear us now, sir? Thank God, thank God. Because I wanted to ask journalists before, Apostle, I'm coming back to you because I'll be talking to you as an elderly statesman, as a religious person who we're going to see where God can help us in this case. But Michael, my next question still comes to you. Mary, be prepared for me. If you have a voter's card or not, I want to hear from you, because it's people like you that always get discouraged. Oh, I like what Honorable just said. My vote won't count. Why will I do this? These are the kind of people that will do that. I bet Mary don't have a card. But let's stick with Michael first. Michael, where is still the lapses? I think I agree with Honorable. He said that the ringing of elections does not actually happen with INEC. INEC alone, of course, INEC can have one or two hands in this, but it actually starts from the politicians. So where are the lapses still in the system that we still don't have confidence that our vote will count? Because that is one of the problems that's making people not to go out to vote. I agree. If I think my vote is important, today I will definitely go out and do it. If everybody can have that mentality, I'm sure they will all go out and vote. So where are the lapses still at this stage?
Okay, so I'll look at this from different dimensions. First of all, I will look at how to boost citizens' confidence in the institution and in the process itself. When we have young citizens or citizens saying that I would not go to vote because I think my vote will not count, that is, for me, that is where the problem begins from first. This, like I said earlier, these are antics deployed by politicians to discourage people from coming out to vote. If the votes don't count, why are the politicians buying the vote? It's because the vote counts. That is why they are paying for the vote. So we have seen that in a way, even though the process still needs improvement, Beavers has been able to reduce how electoral malpractices. That's why we don't see high turnout of votes like it used to be in the past, where a state can produce 2 million votes or 3 million votes. We used to remember those days of Kano and Katsina and all of that coming out. So even this Edo election, I'll be surprised if we have up to 700,000 votes from, except from the entire 2.2 million people, because the Beavers has been able to, make sure that we don't have ghost voters. Yes. So it is when you are accredited, that's when you vote. Yes. So having said that, I also move to the next stage, which is the active role that the politicians play in electoral malpractices. In cases like vote buying, we've seen that. But again, another problem is in the appointment of resident electoral commissioners.
Yeah, we do.
Am I on?
Yes.
Okay. It's in the appointment of resident electoral commissioners. The process that leads to the appointment of resident electoral commissioners, because citizens, journalists, and even politicians themselves don't pay attention to this. We have, people with partisan interests are now appointed as resident electoral commissioners. But before the election, people don't, because election is not a one-day thing. Nigerians pay attention to the election day in itself. Election is a process. Yes. So it starts from the process of even people going to get registered as would-be voters, appointment of resident electors. People don't follow this process until the day of the election itself. So you just come and vote, and you discredit the whole process. So people must pay attention to those that are also appointed as resident electoral commissioners, because they are the ones that in most cases even manipulate, in conjunction with politicians, manipulate the process in itself. Like we've talked about, logistics not getting to polling units early. We've talked about deliberate sabotage of even the Beavers machine. We've talked about cases where they come up either try to create some kind of crisis in a particular stronghold of opponent and all of that. So we must pay attention to the process even that leads to the election itself. So having said that, I would say that we need to continuously enlighten our citizens to restore confidence in the election itself. Personally, because I've observed the election since like 2015, both off season and every other election since 2015, and I would say there has been an improvement in the election itself, and that what it's required is for people to pay more attention. Again, it's important for politicians again, because when I went to the field today, what I noticed was that some of the political parties don't have party agents in some of the polling units. Now, if you don't have party agents in some of the polling units, you will not be able to exactly ascertain what happens in that polling unit, because a serious political party, as we speak today, that is serious about this election, to have its own situation room with its party agent on the field, feeding feeding that situation room with live information, what's happening when results are declared. You have, as a party agent, you are entitled to a one of the result sheeting from C8A, so that you have a copy of it and send to your situation room. But politicians don't invest in this. All they wait for is at the end of the process is just to come and shout that the election was rigged and the election was rigged. So we shouldn't really dwell on that. There's been an improvement for me in the process, but we must restore citizens' confidence and say, no, the election counts. You just need to know the electoral process that leads to that final day of election.
Thank you very much. And I think it's very important educating us. We need to believe. Believe is one thing, and for people to believe something, they need the right information, and that is where INEC might want to do more, and politicians should be discouraged. I'm happy the FCC, sometimes they come out, but again, whether they are politicians, I don't know. But the question, at this point, I will only ask, are you people not concerned? I'm going to put this to the floor. Are you guys not concerned with the amount of money that will be thrown around today? People are hungry. And if you give an old person 20,000 naira today, I'll vote. I don't care what happened tomorrow. Is that in play today? Is that not going to be in play? Where is that in Edo? I don't know whether we should be happy or we should be positive, because I do know that there's big power playing here from the two sides. I'm looking at the PDP and the APC. They're good at that. Are we gonna? Is that off the play or is that part of the game today?
So yesterday, very interestingly, yesterday when I got here, I spoke with people who told me openly that they are going to sell their votes. Very unfortunately, very unfortunate.
Here we go.
They were open. They were not pretending about it. But again, what we've seen is politicians weaponizing poverty. The politicians have weaponized poverty in our country. It's so sad that people are willing to sell their votes. I was in Ekiti. I saw people selling their vote for a pack of spaghetti. I saw personally. I still have that video, and each time I watch that video, because I did that video myself. So I saw someone sell their vote for a pack of spaghetti. We've seen people sell their vote for as little as Maggie cube. So politicians have found a way to weaponize poverty. So people are really willing to. I'm not sure any politicians, with the level of poverty in the country, I'm not even sure any politicians will give any voter 20,000 naira today. I'm sure maybe the highest will be like 5,000 naira. And I'm sure there will be people who will even take less. It's not bad. It's that bad with what we have on ground. And I really do not know how we can do this. We can all sit in the comfort of our homes and pretend that everything is okay. But for the people in the rural community who have not seen any form of government presence, who do not enjoy any form of public services, any amenities, no water, no light, they don't care. They will sell their votes for whatever price. It's unfortunate, really, and it's going to play out today, big time, like I said.
Yes, it's the only time to get a cash out. I can't blame that. Apostle, what have been your observations so far? Let's have an input. Yes, now that we can hear you.
As a case now, the battle is within the three political parties. So there are 17 who are participating. Now, you can see the PDP on ground, but they are in power and to remain in power. The APC at the national, they are also the presently in power.
We see having some problem
So,
with the sound, but we can manage this. Apostle, your sound can be better, but I don't know whether it is really tweaked. We're still having some issues hearing you well, but let's go, sir. Perhaps is better than nothing. Yeah. Let's see. Again, I shouldn't have interrupted Apostle. It's like a baby that was looking for where to cry. Now I help. Let's get on with it. We still have Apostle with us. I hope we have him to hear to hear his own aspect of this. Like we're talking, Honorable. You heard what Michael has really helped us to conceptualize some of these issues here now. I am excited. I'm really thankful. The truth is, people are poor, and now poverty is a weapon. So, are we expecting today that the highest bidder will get the office, will get the Sadebe house, or the will of the people? It's what we're gonna have. It's gonna be the governor. Is it because the man is the one is who we want, or is the one with the biggest pocket?
Thank you very much. I think this is a multi-faceted approach. On one hand, if there's no willing purchaser, there won't be a willing giver. So that's why you heard when Apostle to my brother, the journalist who is in Benin, told us here today that when he got to Benin, he was shocked to hear that people were conversing openly that I'm willing to be bought over. So I'm willing to be bought over. So there are people who are willing to bought over to do their work. Now, the thing is, it is unfortunate that there's a lot of poverty that has been done deliberately. Well, it's sad. Let me say that we have met people. For some of us, we have not, and I've never witnessed a good Nigerian that was born. Born about 47 years ago next month. I have never seen a good Nigerian. But this is unfortunate. But we grew up hearing that in our time, meaning that as our parents telling us, and we read in places where a man will somebody will finish school and then you have opportunities of having 2 jobs or 3 in one day, depending on the one you want to do. Now here, the situation is such that people are begging to have jobs to go and do. And these jobs are not payable at all. These are not jobs that can take home, but people are begging to have it. That's the level of sickness that we have found ourselves in today. Because a group of people have started deliberately refused to move our nation to the place of Eldorado, where other people have developed the template that will make see a better tomorrow. In our case, has become worse. Now, it is rather unfortunate. I want to say very clearly and hopefully so that personally, this is an opinion of mine. I personally have problems with 36 governors. Wake up every day and everybody is shouting at Malos at the shop at that particular time, but allow 36 gentlemen, because we have never had a woman who has been voted at all. So we have 36 gentlemen who are living in very serious comfort and having fun with large sums of billions coming into their accounts every month. And they run it the way they want. They decide who gets 10,000 naira in a given state. This is because they hear the police is such a tight manner and nobody gets money except them. Or you must get into coming to lick their boots, or they're doing what they want. They're subservient to them. That's the only way you get money. So these kind of things have made stiffen the process of bringing too much. And as such, it has led people having situations where people do not have the right tools or finances to cater for basic things. And for this reason, a day like this comes, and then the decision is that either you allow yourself to brought over or sometimes force you. Let me say that I want to join my brother in commending the INEC. They've tried as much as possible from 2015 to upwards up to what will happen today. They've tried as much as possible to have a better election. That's why today you can see that you can't find anywhere in Nigeria where they will sit down and allocate as much vote as 3 million, 4 million, 6 million, where people bragging that we bring. You don't bring. People go out to vote. So whereas people go out then to brag that they bring XYZ amount of votes to the table, it is no longer the case. Today, people as much as possible go out try, like those that have been accredited that move out. That's why today is much, much easier if people, it says like they do, will have it very easy to have their vote count largely. Regardless of where people are going to set their conscience and give, receive money so that they vote the people who will be giving the money for them to vote. So in my honest view, it's going to be one thing that will be decided on either party for those who will go out in their fair conscience to go and vote the candidate of their choice, and others who will be sitting there and willing to be brought over to go and decide the franchise of another person that will be wanting them to do. So it's a double situation where we're going to be seeing an amazing fit today. So I think that's basically my own view about this thing.
Well, this is our reality, and I agree with everybody here. This is our reality. The question is, what can we do about it? For me, for evil to exist, righteous men are busy doing nothing. The situation in Nigeria is sad, like you said. You've never witnessed any good thing, any good Nigeria, any good elections. But we're moving. I want to say this: that far back in 1922, the British politics was a very corrupt one, and I think if we continue, we're only going to get better. That's my hope, so I want us to maintain it. I think the governors now know that after 4 years, I'm going to come back and lie to the people again, or I'm going to save money to come and buy the vote again. That's a starting point. But this year I wanted to bring Apostle in. Apostle, I really want to get your own part. You know why I'm looking for, Apostle? I want you to let me steal this from you before this your system go off and on again. People come to church on Sunday, you tell them good things about God, about their spiritual life and how God can make their life better, and they put their hand into their pocket and they drop money in the church. Why is it that Nigerians are not doing that with politicians? Because a politician that will come and tell you how he's going to give you a better governance, why are we not supporting politicians and we only do this in church? And journalists, I'm coming to you on this, but let's hear from Apostle first. But this is my honest belief that Nigerians have, if you send good ideas to us, we will support it financially and otherwise. So they don't need to, what the drama we're seeing now of paying us, wouldn't it be necessary? Could it be that the politicians are not as effective as the pastors? I'm sorry, sir. They are, where is this divine? Because it's happening well in church. People contribute, and yet in politics, people take. Why do you think it's so,
okay,
sir?
I say indeed, the decay in the society affects every sphere of life, both the political and religious too. So it's unfortunate that we find ourselves in this situation, but I think that from the church, we should be able to give people orientation and also take advantage of the social media also to educate our people properly, that they don't say their vote. And it is their people right and responsibility to vote the right person. Just like somebody has said, so the politician is using the weapon of to take advantage. And you can see the gap between the rich and the poor is so large. So most of the people that just feel that, okay, during the time of the election, it's my time to get from the politician. So whatever I can get, that is my own. Because once they are there, the politicians, they are for themselves.
Yes.
And most Nigerians come to believe that our vote will not count, which I disagree. Because if the voters come out in large number to vote, then they will be able to make a sentence, they will be able to do what they will be able to put a political leader they desire. But when you stay away from it, give these politicians the advantage to win the election. Mind you, the way it is in Nigeria, look at the internal democracy. You see what's happening. About the parties, they are not ready to do the right thing. That is the reason why any time election comes to it is as if it is a war. Look at the situation where they have to deploy 30,000 police and other, security agents about 80,000 for an election as if we are in a war. Because of the kind of situation we find ourselves in. So it is unfortunate that we find ourselves in this situation. But I think from the top, if we do more work to give orientation, and also the government agencies who are starting to be responsible for giving orientation to the people, probably it will help and improve our situation. We will be responsible.
Thank you. I want to agree that the orientation is really missing. And I'm going to bring Michael back again. Michael, sorry, I'm putting you a lot on this drama here. Michael, you get what Apostle is saying. My take is, if people will go to church on Sunday and wholeheartedly contribute to something they believe in, if the politicians are good enough or they are kind enough to tell us what they would do rather than throwing us with lies and money, perhaps we will vote the right way, and they don't even need to give us money. And that is where I am confused with the same people. It's the same people that go to church on Sunday. The money you even take from the politicians, you go and drop it in church on Sunday. Meaning there's a gap here. Where is it, Michael?
Yeah, so I think again, it's about educating our people on how to hold government accountable. The problem we've seen over the years is that election in Nigeria has been what I refer to as ethnic census. Even this Edo election, the debate has been about where the candidates are from. Are they from Edo Central or are they from Edo South? So are you from Asian or from where? So we won't support you because it's the turn of Edo Central and all of that. So nobody is talking about competence. Are you able to deliver on the job? We are more concerned about where you are from. It's the same with our national politics. We are more concerned whether you are Igbo or you are Yoruba or you are Hausa. So until we begin to educate our people to say, no, it doesn't matter where you come from, but it will take time because we have a problem in Nigeria where we've not gone beyond that, where we ask where you are from. If I meet you and I shake my hand and I say my name is Michael because it's an English name, the next question you want to ask me is, where are you from? Exactly. Where are you from? So we've seen countries like Rwanda to be able to make progress, how to remove that. Actually, I remember my first time in 2019 in Kigali, because of the civil war about the Tutsi and Hutu. It's a crime in Rwanda to discuss ethnicity in public. It's not like they've forgotten about it. Will get you a jail term of 15 years if you are caught discussing ethnic rivalry in the public. But in Nigeria, we've not outgrown that. So we need to educate our people the more to say you must learn how to hold a leader accountable, irrespective of whether he's from your village, even if he's your family member. Yes. You must hold him accountable. And we must also educate our people to be able to hold their governors accountable. People don't pay attention to the subnational. Everybody looks, because of the way the Nigerian system is designed, everybody looks towards Abuja. And we make a lot of excuses for our governors. These guys get a lot of money. They get a lot of money, federal allocations, they get taxes, They make so much money, and we keep making excuses for them. Everybody is concerned, and we repeatedly, I keep telling friends, and we complain about Obasanjo, we complain about Jonathan, we complained about Buhari, now we are complaining about, and we'll keep complaining until we learn to hold the right people accountable. The election is happening in Edo. People are saying, I will not come to vote because I wanted to vote for a particular candidate during the general election and the person did not win, so I will not come. The man in Abuja does not. Is the closest form of government you have in Edo is the governor. If you cannot go out to vote and hold the governor accountable, you can't. Abuja is very far from Edo. So we must learn to hold those and educate our people, especially, like I said, the politicians have found a way to be able to shield themselves. They are the greatest beneficiaries of election. If this election, they are the ones that they are going to get into office. So we must hold them accountable and not allow them to control the narrative. But it will take time. But again, like I said, we've made progress. We've seen the End SARS protests. We've seen the End Bad Governance protests. The Nigerian youth are beginning to get more orientation. We must continue along that line to get our citizens, the young citizens, to hold their leaders accountable. So because again, I have to say this, and I have argued it. I have said it is the failure of government. It is the failure of the system that push a lot of people to religion. Especially in Nigeria, people go to church and give testimonies of how my boss paid me salary after working for 6 months. Finally, after going to church, the pastor prayed for me and the man paid me 1 month salary. It's your right. But the light goes off, and we are scared because we think that someone is trying to hurt us in it. No, if you are in a civilized a working system, you are in a working system. Those are things that are normal. People don't go to church to pray for visa in South Africa. No, South Africans don't want to go to the UK. They don't, because their country is working for them. Here we go to church to pay tithes, to pay offering for pastors to pray for us to get visas. Because we want to live. Everybody wants to live because the system is not working. So I would say people now have more confidence in the church because they can see it's working there.
Like I said, the pastors are doing a better job. Let's say the pastors are doing a better job. They did the orientation better. Yeah.
At least you can see when you go to the church, you can see your offering working. You can see the new decoration on Sundays. Exactly. You can see bigger churches. They are building bigger churches and all of that. So
let put it this way. What if you take this down to these three political parties now, we're going to talk about the number of people on that party on that ballot. Well, for me, do we need all this number of political parties at this stage? Knowing fully well that some of them are not really, they are mushroom parties. We'll come to that another day. But perhaps it's too late. But let's stick to these three. In the UK here, I can understand if the Tory comes to power, what I'm going to expect. If the Labour comes to power, I know what to expect. If Libra come to power, I know what to expect. Do you know what to expect from this APC, PDP, and Labour Party in Nigeria? Do you even understand? I think we are learning a little bit now. Let's leave the people in the village. If I cannot identify, maybe you guys can. What do they stand for? I really want to be educated. I'm still struggling. I've been following this election, and they've been saying the same thing. All the three parties. So there's no difference between what this man is saying. They only dance to whatever will make them get the vote, which they do in the UK also. But there's nothing that we can say. This is what. Listen, if you go to the church, you know they believe in Christ. If you go to the mosque, they believe in Muhammad. Do this party have a belief? Because before you can convince people, you still have to believe in something. And this is what we believe in. They follow me. And that's what Apostle is here. Apostle will tell us that's what we preach in the church. But we don't see that. Does the pastors, does the political party, let's start with the political party before we come to the candidate. Do we know what APC stands for? What PDP stands for? I'm going to start with Mary because you're the one that's going to come here. Do you know what they means? When we say what to expect if these people win, is there any difference? We're talking about educating the
Ali,
public
you're
now.
able to call some of their. There was a time, okay, during the show, right, earlier this week, you're able to call some people during the show, and you could see that all of them, they were saying the same thing. So if you ask me personally, what I think they believe is they believe in fixing roads, they believe in sharing food, sharing money, right, to people, that will not eradicate poverty in that state, that will make them to remain poor and always come back to them, right?
Yes,
Because
yes,
if peradventure their life becomes better, they will not see a way whereby they want to sell their votes because they know they are okay, they are doing okay. But because of poverty, you can actually try to convince them and make them sell their vote to you. So we have a government that believes that if I share uh 1 mudu of rice to this family, I can buy them. You understand? If I'm able to share 2 pack of Indomie to these people, I'm able to buy them. This is what they do. Forget the other guy that was talking yesterday that even the Labour Party, like the government for the people, they care about the people. These things are fallacy. Why do I say this? When they go to that place, what difference have they made? Same old stories. You could see them coming to talk about agriculture, right? They will enhance sustainable agriculture. Are they even talking about how they could actually stop whatever insecurity that is affecting on these women and these men that go to the farm, right? In which other way can they actually make agriculture to be sustainable in that state?
thank you very much. So, but, Michael, I'm still going to come
So
back to
leave
you. I've
all these
only
things they are
40 minutes.
talking. I just feel like they
Yes,
are all dragging to go there and keep sharing their priorities as
yes.
usual.
Mary, you're even blaming the candidates now. Let's start with
They just
Michael.
want to go
Michael,
there
what are the
and keep sharing
fundamentals
their
of our political parties? Let's start even from there. Because if I go to agriculture, I'm a Catholic today. I know what Catholic stands for. Catholics, we say it's the Catholic religion. We're going to take, we know we go there, you're going to have mass, you're going to take Holy Communion, it's a daily thing. You understand? And there's a belief. I was in the church here in England, and they said the reverend came out and said the difference between the Catholic Church and other churches today is that we believe in Mary, we still believe in the you understand, in the continuous celebration of the mass and all that. So at least I know that is what the Catholic Church stands for. If I go to Baptist, it's a different story. And in fact, I know now because I've been to the Anglican a couple of times here. The Anglican are so similar to the Catholic. The rest, the modern ones we have in Nigeria, they're breaking away from that and they're pushing prosperity and salvation. I know Reverend is here, but I'm going to come back to these same parties I'm talking about. What does APC,
so
PDP, and the Labour Party? These are the three we want to talk of. What do they stand for? Michael, let's hear from Michael. Then we'll come to Apostle.
Yes, I think generally the political parties themselves have not been able to, state their ideology in a way for citizens to really know what they stand for. All of them seem to be working on the same line. It's ordinarily is the Labour Party that should have been a little bit distant because of their their workers' perspective, socialist perspective. They are supposed to be more socialist in nature because it's a workers' party. But as regards ideology for APC or PDP, when you talk to an APC man, he will tell you we are progressives. But I don't really understand what it means by we are progressive. Where do you really stand? Where do you really stand apart from you still want to either build roads or bring light? These are issues that in the First Republic in 1963, the same issues that politicians and political parties were campaigning with in 1963. That's what in 2024 is the same. Those are the same issues we are still campaigning with. I will give you light. I was listening to one of the jingles of the 1993 Abiola election. It's the same thing. I'll give you light, I'll give you water, I'll give you build. Those are the same things where we've not even moved about them. So the political parties themselves, in their ideology, if you are in the US, for instance, you are talking to Democrats, they believe in abortion rights. You are talking to Republicans, they don't believe in abortion rights and all of that. You can see how distinct they are in their ideology. But here, I think what they just do is it's the same. Probably it's the same people that are writing the manifestos for even the political parties. So yes, they just write it. So and because you see, why you won't even have that kind of ideology is the issue of cross carpeting. One day someone is in APC, the next day is in PDP, and the next day he's in Labour Party. He doesn't believe in anything. He doesn't believe. He doesn't even believe. He does, yes, he doesn't even believe in anything. So, and the party, because the party itself does not have an ideology, it will welcome anybody too. So it's an Owambe party. Everybody is welcome.
Atiku has been in almost all the parties. Anyway, I don't know where it's coming from this time. And Apostle, you agree with Michael in terms of that we don't even know what these churches stand for. Let's call them churches now, because that's where the other Nigerians can understand. All right, where is the church of the APC, the church of the PDP, or the church of the Labour Party? Where is their church? What do they believe in? Let's put it that way. Because it's true, when you are here, the Labour Party here tends to be more liberal. They are workers oriented, but they are more liberal. And because they will encourage any that you can, whoever you love doesn't matter, so you can practice gay, whatever it is. And if you want to abort, it's okay, and things like that. But conservatives are more church oriented. That's why they get confused here. That we black people we go to church, but we are more for the liberal parties. They don't understand that, because on a good day, that's why Nigerians perhaps are supporting Donald Trump. They say Donald Trump stands for God. You understand? And people can understand Donald Trump. Nigerians can relate with Donald Trump, but they cannot relate with Tinubu or with Atiku. Hey, I can see that playing in our support for Donald Trump. I was surprised. The level of awareness Nigerians have to the extent of deciding that no, Donald is the man we want. Only some of us anyway, you understand? But the reason were clear. When I asked why, he said because this is the man that believes that America belongs to God. Do you mean there's an ideology? But do we have so in Nigeria?
Yeah, I agree with my completely. The kind of political that we have here, especially in Nigeria, like I said, everything in Nigeria, politics, it's the economic failing, education are failing. And it affects every aspect of our life. So when you come into the issue of politics in Nigeria, it's not just about every individual is out there for his own selfish reasons. No politician has a political platform. Every politician in Nigeria, any platform that has them, any platform that can find their for them. So, they can prosper from one political party for a platform. That's what matters. To get their selfish, what they want for themselves, not for the people. So they can see that what something is for me, you are ABC, you are ABC, they are all the same thing. They are because it is the same people.
Yeah, they are cross carpeting from one place to the other. Yeah.
Check their democracy. Check their internal democracy. Check their democracy. It's the same thing. Everybody is happy taking advantage of the
Also, so you were agree with the ordinary Nigerians, it's not the fault of ordinary Nigerians. It's not our fault, it's the fault of the people not communicating with us. I say you will blame, maybe you cannot blame ordinary Nigerians now waiting to sell food, the people not communicating with us. Because I can tell you now, people are preparing for church tomorrow. More than this election. They are ready to go to church tomorrow So they are fully, in fact, if you stop any family from going to church in Nigeria tomorrow, you are joking. But this election is not
every community has a vision. Every church, they have their ideology, their faith, their vision. So to every church you go, you know what they expect. And they can see that is working. They can see what their child and family is doing. And they know what their church believes. Then when you see political party, when in political party individual,
Apostle, this thing, my only worry is that all these beautiful people say we're hearing half of it. Only half is getting through. And it's really, really sad. Very, very sad with your sound. We're going to go on a break. Hopefully when we come back, Apostle, you'll be able to fix this sound a little bit better. Just maybe restart the phone and we'll be better. Michael, Michael, I want to look at one big difficult area with you, which is what you said. We are holding only the states and the federal government accountable, whereas our governors, if they calculate how much they get as security vote alone, the amount of allocation coming to their state, especially in Delta State and River State, and then Edo is not even left out. Big guys get a lot of money. And I heard this agitation of people saying, let us go back to old Nigeria when we were like a true federation, when we had 3 regions or 4 regions. And I'm asking myself, now we have 37 regions. Who stopped these governors from running the affairs of their own state? Who stopped them from making money? Would it be such a bad idea if I don't have a farm, call something called a Edo farm? Would it be so bad if I don't have an airline, Edo airline? Would it be, somebody come back yesterday and said, would it be so bad for Edo to have Edo water, ordinary water? People are drinking bad water in Edo State. Would it be so bad if the government works with the universities and the private sector to create that? That is where we're going to come at. And we're going to look at these candidates in details. And then, don't forget, today is the real day. It's not a day to discuss politics. It's a day to actually look at what is happening on ground. But we're just using this to throw light as for those people who are going to vote, those who have voted, and say, okay, maybe we're learning, we keep learning, but hey, we can do better. But let's go on a break. When we come back, hopefully Apostle will know better. And I'll see have Michael to look at how or who we should be holding accountable. Tinubu cannot solve your problem in Edo State. The money given to your governor, Baseki, if well put to good use, if well cultivated, if it is not shared, Edo State will not be where they are now. And that is something we need to let them know today why today election is important. The voting today is so important because the person that goes to that Osadebe house, the new tenant of Osadebe house, is going to be more impactful in your life than the president to because he can have his own security. Today they said you can't have state police, you can't have state police, but they have their own vigilantes to secure you if they want to. They have enough security votes to work with. In fact, they have enough money to do business and make money for you and themselves. Rather than waiting for the allocation, I ask again and again, how much has any of the governors in Nigeria made for their own state? In fact, like I said, that is the litmus test of any governor when they come to me. Since you have been in office between so time and so time, how much have you generated for the state? But don't go away, we'll be right back. Michael is right here with us, and we'll see our Apostle to put this in proper perspective. Maybe we'll hear people. Michael, please stay with us. We'll go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll look at that.
Find your sanctuary in the heart of the city. Live the life you deserve in an exquisite apartment. SRTV Luxury Shortlet Apartment, Lagos, is a place where your comfort is rest assured. Welcome to SRTV Shortlet Apartment, part of the prestigious SRTV Real Estate family. Why choose us? Prime location, nestled in the heart of Lagos, close to key attractions, business hubs, and vibrant nightlife. Modern interiors, fully furnished, stylish apartments designed to provide the ultimate comfort. Luxury redefined. Vacation perfected. 24/7 security. Enjoy peace of mind with round-the-clock security and CCTV surveillance. Top-notch amenities. High-speed Wi-Fi, smart TV, air conditioning, fully equipped kitchen, and lots more. Perfect for business travelers, family vacations, romantic getaways, special events, and more. Book your stay today and experience Lagos like never before. Call +234 8143 582856 or +447 4388 93190 or email us at realestate@superiorradiotelevision.com. SRTV Chocolate Apartment, where comfort meets luxury.
Welcome back, people. Welcome back. Unfortunately, some of my guests, they will be joining the show. The show is not supposed to be a studio show. It's a show where we're supposed to be out there to report to you what is currently happening in terms of votes. And we'll be doing that. That will be happening. So it's going to be a regular break at the end of the day. We're going to have the morning broadcast, which is this time now. We'll be out on a break shortly. We'll be breaking up, and then we'll come in the afternoon. That will be from 5 p.m. Between 4 and 5 p.m. we have another broadcast, and then towards at the back in the night, as we'll be talking about the results of the elections, and that is when we're going to be looking at the results, what has happened, and that's where we have Michael again, hopefully to give us the feedback on what has happened, the true information. That's what we're going to hear. But before we go into all that, for those of you who have not voted, and those of you going out there to vote, this is a big message for you. The governor have the power. You see, what is power? Power is cash, money. And that's what you can do. Money answereth all things. The governor have enough money to deploy vigilantes to secure you and your family. And some of them are already doing so. Yes, they are not entitled to state police. Sometimes I wonder whether it is even right to give them state police, knowing fully well that these guys have abused the privileges given to them. I'm happy Michael is back. Let's quickly have Michael. Michael, welcome back. Yeah, I'm just saying now that I'm talking to people in Edo State that the governor have the power to secure their life. The power have the power to make their economy better. Edo State could be bigger than, in fact, 3 countries in Africa are not as effective as those states. Put 3 states together. Now, I heard the Lagos State governor came out on a British television to say that the economy of Lagos is larger than that of Kenya. Only Lagos State. So we are saying states in Nigeria can be a country of their own. So while we were trying to go back to those days, no, the time is now. Your governor can make it happen. Your governor can provide security. He can grow the economy. Nobody stops them. So yes, some part of the law give more power to the federal government. What are they doing with the ones they are getting? And that is the question we're asking. So, and I'm going to bring that again to Michael, and then we're going to end this part of the broadcast. But another part of the broadcast today, which is why do we have so many people in this? So many parties, we know they are jokers. Because some of them, they know they're not going to win elections, so they're wasting our time. And we'll be having those kind of things in the first place. So those are 2 things I think we should discuss right here before we end this today's this.
Even if they are not going to win, it doesn't mean they should not come out and try. You try,
Anyway,
you try,
who am
you
I
keep
to
trying.
You're right.
You try again until you win.
Okay. All right, maybe I'll accept that. But when you see the list of all the parties, it's a waste of paper. It's a waste of money. Why do
we don't even know their names.
There are 17 political parties contesting in for Edo election currently.
17.
So yes, 17 of them. And some just want to be known as former governorship candidate, and actually some of them are also We have a very funny political system. Some of them are also being sponsored by the bigger political parties,
Just
in a way to
right.
either share votes of their opponent in your stronghold. They can just
Yes.
sponsor someone to
Just to
either
divide
split
it.
your to split your vote. That's for the politicians and their way that they manage to also subvert the system. So, but earlier on, we were talking about how the subnationals, the state, can
Yes.
either use the revenue they generate. I remember it's laziness, if you ask me. It's laziness on the part of those that we elect as governors, because again, if I don't see why someone will have the confidence to give 1/10 of their money as tithes to church, but won't pay their tax. It's because they've not seen the taxes they've been paying, they've not seen it work for them. So they don't have confidence in that system, but they will willingly, give that tithes to a pastor, for instance. It shows their lack of confidence in those that they have elected. When I said laziness on the part of the governors, because there is free money, there is oil money. I refer to oil money as free money. People
Free
don't
money.
really suffer. They don't suffer for it.
Manna
I was
that fall
telling
from heaven.
someone,
It's manna. Yeah.
yes, I was telling someone this morning, and I don't understand why, for instance, the textile industry in Nigeria is not working. Nigerians are flamboyant people. We dress a lot. You go to the church on Sunday, one person is using 10 yards of material to sew Baba Riga, another person is using 5 yards, and the women are dressing gorgeously and all of that. And 80% of those materials are imported from China. I don't know, in a population of 200 million people, why the textile is not working in Nigeria. You go to my state where I come from, which is Benue State. You have a lot of oranges. If people can't even buy orange from you because everybody has like an orange plantation in their house or in their farm and all of that. And the government is not investing in juice making factories. They import Five Alive from Coca-Cola, a company that is probably in the US, creating jobs for people there. And you have states like that. Every state is blessed. And to be fair to the former president, right, they dissolve some of these things. States can now generate their own electricity. Before, it used to be on the exclusive list, which means it was just the federal government that can do that. But now states have been allowed to, build power plants. States have been allowed to say, okay, you can, do your own rail system and all of that. But governors are not really investing. They are lazy. For me, if you ask me, that's the time I used to describe them. Every end of the month, there is allocation to be shared
I mean,
from
yes.
Abuja. Secondly, we need to educate, enlighten our people to say this so amount of money has come to your governor. I remember during towards the end of the President Buhari's administration, it was Wike. Wike came out and said,
I said something.
yes, yes, he said that, everybody knows I don't like APC, everybody knows I don't like Buhari, but this man has released so
So
amount of
man,
us that have been, yeah. And
it
people
was
start
on his own
asking,
request.
and
He expected
yes,
us in
and
Delta
some people
State.
now said that
Governor of Delta
the Delta governor said, yes, the Delta governor said, no, I've only received was it 20 billion. So they said, oh, so you've even received 20 billion all this while. You didn't even say it. So they've not given me all the money,
What are they
it's just
using all
part of
this
the
money
money.
to do? What are they doing with all this
Yes.
money? What are they doing with all this money?
So so people need to track. We need to either maybe CSOs, NGOs. We need to train our people to track projects, to track budgets that are coming to the state. If the governor, because you see politicians today, it's an election day in Edo, for instance. Edo probably has an annual budget of maybe, I can't remember their last budget, but they have an annual budget of 200 billion naira. Today is about the man who will be sitting on that 200 billion naira every year. It's about that man. So it's about citizens trying to ask the right question to say, no, this last year you made this budget. What did you achieve from this budget? We are not satisfied with you coming to share mudu of rice or bag of salt and all of that. Don't give us crumbs. If you create the hospitals, if you build the hospitals, if you create conducive environment for investors to come in, if we have water supply, if we have electricity, we won't have to come to your doorstep begging for a bag of rice. We can, Nigerians are the most creative, hardworking people anywhere around the world. We can fend for ourselves. You just need to make the environment conducive for us by, providing basic facilities, good education, cheap, access to good schools, public schools especially, because we've seen now that government has removed itself from everything. They make the excuse that we don't have money, and so we have to privatize water. Everybody has borehole in their houses now. You build the house, you must drill a borehole. You want to send your children to school, you must send them to a private school. You need to power your house, you need a generator. So what exactly is the government doing for you? And this, again, is why people don't really have confidence. The government complains about low tax. Nigeria has one of the lowest tax rates in Africa. But people can't pay tax if they can't see their tax work for them. So, yeah, we must learn to hold our government accountable.
And the problem, which another thing I'm going to share with you a little bit, journalists, is where people think they can succeed alone. And this is the problem. Nigerians think they can succeed alone. You cannot. I always say to people, maybe you can buy a good car, but you need a good road to drive. With your good car and a bad road is useless. Now you have a big house. Now you have to think of how to bring in electricity. You have to run the gen 24/7. Come to UK, you have electricity. All you need to do is pay your bills. It cannot be as bad as that. Come on, man. And Nigerians need to come to understand that my success is meaningless until the Nigerian state is successful. And that is a big sell. And perhaps I'm going to ask Pastor here, Reverend here, Apostle here, to tell us how we need to sell this importance of governance. Let me put it this way. I don't know whether you agree with me, Apostle, that the next to God is government. I think people use that word. Other than God, the next body that is important in our life is government. In fact, God works with government. In fact, the Bible said, I can't quote the Bible for you, Apostle, but it said right from the beginning in Genesis 2, God put man on earth. He said after he has created, done the job the first on Genesis 1, until he put man and said to man, you cultivate the land. From that day, he's no more in charge. I stand to be corrected, Apostle. When I was growing up, I talk about they teach us how to sing to the firmament, which is the sky, the beautiful sky, the beautiful this. But today, when I'm coming down from Heathrow Airport, I can see the firmament man has created. The place is beautiful. If you're descending into London at night, oh my God. But this is what God has inspired us, what God has instructed us to do. So it's right to say that next to God is government. Because the government is able to do that because they're able to collect money from taxes and other. We can't go into other because it's a shame. But today, our people are not in that tune. So two things is how do we preach this gospel of good governance? Maybe we start from the church too, because at least they have confidence in the church now. If you start by telling them that another part of it, which is the government, maybe they will take it. Don't you think so, Apostle?
Yeah.
Okay. Now we can't hear you at all. What a disaster.
The thing is that even if you keep preaching in church about good governance, these politicians, do they even go to church? So what about the youth that came out
to people I'm talking about? The people can stop this. The politicians are never going to change. We can
the people can stop this. Now, do you know that one of the mistake or one of the reasons why what is happening keep happening is because of poverty. Now, we talk about the fact that why can't they eradicate
with the poverty we see make offering.
That's what I'm saying. Is it everybody that needs working?
So if we believe, we will do it. In fact,
everybody that needs working? Have you thought about what if these people intentionally makes this thing difficult for us so that they always come back and give you one pack of spaghetti so that you will vote for them? Because if you are comfortable, they'll be able to get you.
Mary, I won't pass back, enter them now. They get problem. Now the Nigerian people they don't buy the minds of the man. The pastors have bought the mind of, thank God say apostle not there here now, so I can talk louder about the church. The church the church is they bought the mind of the people. So I'm saying, why would we pass the church? I wanted the apostle to tell us how they're going to help to use the instrument of the church now. So then they say, hey, God go fit do one part, but God said you should do this one. It's our duty to stop these people robbing us. We can, and it's our duty to do so. If a redeemer that is able to tell us how to pay tithe can come out and tell Nigerians, I'm saying this, if Oyedipo can come out and tell his congregation that it's time to come out, I'm not only doing the election, but to hold the government accountable. Maybe we'll start thinking.
Yes.
What do you think, Michael?
I kind of agree with you because in recent election, we've seen religion play a very huge part in the election. It's not it's the major reason why you see candidates going to churches during the election. Other candidates also going to mosque. It means they understand the influence that these clergies hold over their followers and all of that. So, but again, it's a problem in those leaders of those religion. What do they also believe in? If do they also are they also after their person?
Because Apostle was here, we couldn't say all that. Yes, we cannot say that when Apostle was with us. they become in fact the three arms of destroyers in Nigeria: the government, the pastors, and the third one.
Is he not still going to watch the show? Is he not still going to watch the show? Still going to watch the show. What I'm saying is, why I will not agree with Daddy Chris is, no matter how you try to preach this in church, Daddy Chris, you cannot advise an hungry man, right? A man that is hungry man or hungry woman, you cannot come and start advising them. They will do otherwise at the end of
the day. Mary, you don't understand how much influence these pastors or imams have over their followers. I am telling you that have you on a Sunday, if a pastor brings this remote control and say, I have anointed this remote control, everybody come and pay 5,000 naira for this remote control. People start coming out, even people who don't have money. You think that don't have money, they go to look for that money because our daddy has said we should come and buy that remote. So if you get the mindset of this religious leader, like I said, do they also believe in the Nigerian project? It's a different conversation. If they do believe in that, they will use their platform. You use your platform to preach good governance. Use your platform to tell citizens about their rights and what to expect. We saw during the last election, and I also said that one of the challenge that we had during the last election was religion, because some religious leaders saw vision where they told their followers that they've seen a vision of one of the candidates winning the election. And when that candidate didn't win that election, it means that he has been rigged. And if God revealed to you, I'm not sure any man can rig God out of a context. So, but those followers really believed so much in those religious leaders. So if we can, those religious leaders start preaching about good governance, start telling,
exactly.
We'll turn our country around. They have so much influence. The influence that they have, and like I've said, it's not just in Nigeria. Around the world, religious leaders have influence over their followers. It's not a normal thing to have 10,000 people gather to listen to one person, and every Sunday they go to that place to listen to that person. It's influence.
My guy,
it's influence.
Michael, you saw what Jerry did in London of recent.
Yes.
They paid to come and see Jerry.
It's influence. It's huge influence.
In fact, you know how we treat it as a business venture. If not, it should be arrested. You cannot tell people to come to a place in a stadium and you collect money from them. You should be arrested. But we treated it as a business. You come to give an inspirational speech, not the word of God. Because you cannot gather people and collect money from them other than tithe. You collect gate fee, that is against the law. And so some of these things they do. Anyway, we're talking about the influence now. What I'm saying is, why don't Pastor Jerry turn that big influence, that what God cannot do, into what government cannot do? Let us hear that. There's nothing government cannot do. Let us begin to have good slogan. Because
and let us also not forget that these clergies or these big religious leaders also have relationship with these top politicians. What kind of conversations do they have? Do they tell them the truth? Do they tell them that, look, people are suffering, there is poverty in the land? Are they honest with them when they have such kind of conversation? Or it's just a matter of, okay, kneel down, let me anoint you, or let
and
me.
then maybe they give them a jeep as well. Those guys
Yeah.
are making fat offering. They make fat
So
offering. Trust me.
the
Oboriwori
religious
pays a
leaders
lot
have
in
to.
his church. Oboriwori is, I think, so Yedipo is his pastor, and also he's a very loyal man to Oboriwori. And they have so many pastors anyway, so they are more like how would you call it those days? They need the spiritual backing to exploit. Can you imagine? But it's dangerous. Man, do what we do, my man. Michael, we're gonna take this thing step by step, because I know you still need to go out there to touch bases and get back to me. I need your help today. All right. But another before we go into that, let us just rub mind again on the millions candidate. Many have defended them very well. That whatever it is, they have the right to come out. They do. But what I'm saying now is, how do we cut down this waste, this political nuisance? That's the right word for them. Some of them are political nuisance. How do we get rid of them from the system? So they're wasting our time, our money. There's no excuse to have these 17 people on the ballot and they're not going to get 3 votes. Some of them in UK, it's okay to come out, but when your vote does not meet a particular number, you get fined £5,000. So, do we have such law? In the UK, you are free to even run as an independent candidate. That's fine. But if you don't get a particular number of votes, you will be fined a particular amount of money for wasting our time. For wasting the taxpayers' money to put your name on the ballot and all that. It's a waste of money. So the question I ask, and I'm going to ask again, do we have that in place, Michael?
No, I think it's an open space for INEC to register any political party that meets a criteria to be registered as a political party, and so we don't have restriction on the number of political parties as per those that will run for election. So for now, we don't have such law. If you meet the criteria,
the law allows you to contest, but if you don't win a certain number of votes, you are supposed to pay some fine because you just wasted our money.
Yes, if you don't win, then I think what those politicians, because I think there was a time the case went up to court when INEC scrapped, the parties used to be much more than this until INEC scrapped them and brought the numbers to 18, and it went up to, if I remember, maybe up to the Supreme Court also, because some parties also went to court to argue that INEC does not have the power to scrap them. So, but even after scrapping them, they still find a way to come back to get registered. As long as you meet the requirement, you are going to be registered. So INEC does not really, until maybe we streamline in our electoral law to say, no, these are the numbers of political parties that we should have. But for now, we don't have that law, except if you meet the requirements.
Yeah, Michael, I don't think the government, the INEC should be making law. I think the law we need is, okay, you are free to be on the ballot. You are free to have your party come as many as you want. But if you contest election and you did not get a number of votes, meaning you are not working, you're wasting our time, and you'll be paying us also amount of money. It's okay. You can contest for free. You will do all the work. But if you don't get a number of votes, because so that they know that it's not a playground, it's not some children field where you just go there and say, I'm a candidate. If I'm a candidate, then I'm going to go out there and get votes, so that everybody will be serious with the process. Otherwise, what I see now, we have too many political nuisance. We don't have space for that. We don't have the resources to be wasting on that. before we get this, Michael, let's go back to this little discussion about Pastor Jerry. Do you think Pastor Jerry have a good influence on his governor? Everything is agree with that, but I don't know. Uh, my faith got blind after some time because I don't understand how that young man turned out to be what he is. But I'm not going to argue with God. I have nothing. I'm only talking about the influence. So let's see. Do you agree with this influence? What?
Yes, I think he has that influence. And it's one thing to have influence. It's another thing to, how do you use that influence? But I think almost all of the big men of God in Nigeria, pastors and even imams, have their influence. But like I said, the problem is, what do you use that influence for? Do you use it to promote good governance? When you have one-on-one
Discussion.
discussion with these politicians, senators, what do you canvass? What do you tell them? I think that's where the problem comes from. So, but as for influence, I believe Pastor Jerry has that influence. He's a well-respected pastor here in Nigeria, and maybe I'm seeing that he has moved, held one or two programs both in the UK and all of that. So, as far the Nigerian community, I think he has a lot of influence, even with his governor. And I think Governor Oti too in his state is doing well to some extent. And maybe I read a lot of reports as regards what he's doing. I also hope that he continues in that trajectory. Nigeria, it's really at a point we really need people who can move us quickly from where we are and where we really need to be, because we have the potential, we have the resources. We are in Edo. The revenue that's coming to Edo, what is being used for. I was in Bayelsa during the election. I was
In fact, states like Bayelsa and Delta and Rivers and Akwa Ibom and Cross Rivers, these are oil. In fact, Edo is one of them. They tell you how much this state gets. I'm happy. It is not me. It's Ned. Ned, this is the battle they are having now in my state. Between Ned and this guy. The amount of money. Ned was able to accuse this guy that the money coming to Delta State alone is equal to what is coming to two states, to the whole four states in the eastern region. But what has he done with it? And in fact, we can keep blaming, we can excuse for them. I don't know whether we're going to get away with it. Well, we are here today to give you the first part of the broadcast. I'm very, very happy to have you, Michael. Very, very happy. Thank you very much for spending time with me. I want us to see if we can break the broadcast into 3 units, please. That I want to have you again in the afternoon, say at 5 o'clock. So just to give an update on the elections, and then in the evening when the counting is really on, to have another insight into how it's all gone out. This is very important. We're very grateful. Thank you very much, Michael.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, and I really hope that we end peacefully the way it started. Edo is always an interesting place. Before the election, there is always fear of violence and all of that. But I remember even the last election, it ended peacefully. So I think I'm counting on Edo people to remain peaceful the way they've started, and I've not really. I've been monitoring online from observers on the field. So far, again, up to this moment, almost 1 p.m., it's still peaceful, except in a few polling units where some party agents have tried to either openly campaign for their candidates. People have tried to resist that and all of that, but generally, I'm really glad with how the Edo people have gone about this election today. Yeah, so hopefully by 5 we should have more updates. some of the polling units. Officially, voting ends by 2 p.m.
Okay.
Except in areas where they still have people on the queue. INEC is most likely to extend voting time until the last man on the queue votes. It's the norm. But other voting as it is will end by 2 p.m. So I think by 5 we should have a clearer picture of what's happening.
Thank you very
Sometimes
much.
it delays though. It delays depending on how the beavers is working. If the beavers is not working well, the voting might extend till even 3, 4.
Yes, that's what I said. Officially, the voting closes by 2 p.m. There are polling units, for instance, that have maybe there are new polling units that open that have less than even 20 voters there. There are some that even have 10 voters there. So if you have finished, if by 2 p.m. there is nobody on the queue, if by 2 p.m. there's nobody on the queue, you count and you count and announce the results there. So it is a polling unit where you still have people on the queue. And as at 2 p.m., if there are still people queuing to vote, INEC will now extend. So even if it lasts till 10 p.m., as long as someone is still on the queue, the person will not be disenfranchised. The person will still be allowed to until the last man on the queue by 2 p.m., not after 2 p.m. votes. Even if it's by 10 p.m. that it votes, he will be allowed. Yeah, so that's been the practice.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Anyway, well, so far, let's say congratulations to people in Edo State. You're doing it again, and we want to see this happening. And like I said, the electoral process is a process. It's ongoing. We just need to keep practicing it. If you do one thing again and again, you are bound to get better. So, and that is what I believe. We might think that we're not doing better. We are. We're not where we used to be. We're getting better. People are not asking questions. Though the citizen journalism comes with its own disadvantages, but it has a lot of advantages. People cannot campaign properly through us. They're getting some more information to us. But many of the time, they give us wrong information. That's what we get. So please, we are all on it, and we are going to keep watching one another, and we need each other to succeed. Government is important, and I want to insist again, the governors can do better than what they're doing now, and the only way they're going to do better is if you stop collecting money from them and demand good governance from them. And please, it's a very important thing that we journalists and we the people make a big mistake. After election, we go and sleep. No, that is when we really need to work, because we need to follow the governors, what they're doing on a daily basis. Don't sweet talk, no sweet talking. Let us be sincere. Let us look at what they're doing right. We praise them. And when they're doing wrong, please correct it. Say it out. They are human beings. They don't want to be embarrassed. One weapon we have is when we say and what we see, the truth. And if you say it, sometimes it helps. That man is a human being going to bed. He's going to sleep and think, oh, no, I'm not going to do this. And I don't want it, because they're not evil. The system might make them evil, but they're human beings. They're the same people that goes to church, so they have a belief. That's why I said the pastors have the way to help us here. If the pastor that they convince them that come to church, somebody want to go to church, you understand? They don't play. When you see them, after ringing the election, they go into the church and celebrate. That is the thing I'm confused about. After you just ring the election, and then you're not in the church celebrating with God. May God help us. I'm not going to judge them. That is a belief now. All right? And if they don't believe anything, it might be more dangerous than where we are now. Thank you very much, Michael and Mary. Let us meet. Let's converge again in the afternoon and give this. That time our broadcast will be lighter. We'll just be looking at what has happened. Thank you guys for joining me. Right.
Thank you.
Looking for a home away from home in Abuja? Look no further than SRTV Shortlet Apartments. Our fully furnished apartments offers everything you need for a comfortable and relaxing stay. Unwind in spacious rooms with exquisite ambience, cook delicious meals in our well-equipped kitchen, and relax in our comfortable sitting rooms watching your favorite shows. And guess what? 247 Wi-Fi available. But that's not all. SRTV goes extra mile by providing a car to take you around town during your stay. No need to worry about navigating public transportation or hailing taxis. Explore Abuja at your own pace. Book your SRTV Shortlet apartment today and experience the perfect blend of comfort and convenience.
SRTV.